Hey, stop and wait a sec. I'm glad I caught you before work. I actually had something to tell you. I've been thinking about it for a while. Well, not a while. Well, actually, what I'm going to tell you, I've been ruminating on for a while, but the timing of what I'm going to tell you is what I've been thinking on since last night. I was even debating telling you I needed to talk to you in the morning, and then I didn't because what if you're like me and you overthink and you overthought what I was going to say? And anyway, before you say anything, I need to get this out while I'm brave enough to do it without joking my way around it. I've been thinking about you all night. All week. Honestly, for longer than I'd want to admit. I told myself I'd keep our friendship light. Keep it exactly what it is. Friendship. We're friends. Really good friends. And friends like us, we know the rules on how these things are supposed to go. We sit on couches with mismatched blankets, split the last slice of pizza, laugh at late night shows. What else do we do? Oh, we borrow sweatshirts and return them smelling like the other person's shampoo. We don't cross lines, and we don't say the dangerous things out loud. But then you looked at me last night on the couch. You held my eyes a second too long, and I kept thinking, when you look at me like that, my darling, what did you expect? Because that look, it kept me up all night. I couldn't stop thinking about you and how your eyes looked on mine and how you're my absolute best friend, and I am, I swear, not shy of a spark. I've just respected the boundaries we drew with nervous hands, back when we were pretending we didn't want to color past the lines. But lately, and I hope you feel it too, the air between us is different. It hums. It waits. We wait. I keep replaying our almost moments. The way your shoulder pressed into mine when we were squeezed into the same armchair at Todd's party. The way your voice softened when you told me about your dad and that old fishing hat you keep but never wear. The way you quietly noticed when my hands were cold and just held them under the table like it was a secret. I act casual. You act casual. But every time I walk home, the night wind turns the memory over and over and over until it's blazing in my chest. And then there's the part I'm embarrassed to say out loud. The part where my mind runs ahead of my body. Where I whisper to the empty apartment when you're not here that I'm going back to 505. Our sweet little apartment where so many memories have been made. That's what I tell myself when I imagine turning around midway to work because I need to see you now. If it's a 7-hour flight or 45-minute drive, I'd still do it. I'd still come back to you. Because that's what it feels like. Like you're a place I return to. A number I press in the dark that always picks up. I shouldn't confess how vivid it gets, but honesty is the whole point right now. But sometimes, late at night, when the city is a hush, and it's only slight honkings, and the lamp on my nightstand is the only small light I have, I see you in my head so clearly it hurts. And in my imagination, you're waiting, lying on your side, with your hand between your thighs, And I catch myself blushing at shadows because you're not even there, and I'm just yearning. I don't want you to be mad. It's just the truth. God, the mind is a tender, wicked stage. It puts you there, on the sofa we've shared 1,000 times, wearing the same old hoodie, grinning at me like I'm the only person you've ever loved. And you know what's strange? I'm bold everywhere. Everywhere else. Boardrooms, family reunions, in the middle of crises. But when I'm with you, all of my words turn completely delicate and I lose them. Because the knife twists at the thought that I should fall short of the mark that deserves you. I mean, what if I confess and you step back? What if I reach for you and find nothing? I tell myself I'm frightened by the bite, though it's no harsher than your bark. That the fear is all theater and the truth is kind. But still, fear does what fear does. It wraps around your throat and calls itself reasonable when it's not. But then, there's you. There's your face when you're laughing at something dumb I said. Your hands as they circle a mug. Your quiet focus when you fix the loose hinge on the cabinet as if it's sacred work. I hear myself think, this is already the middle of an adventure. Such a perfect place to start. Because haven't we been in the middle for ages? Haven't we already done the beginning without calling it that? I came out here and confronted you before you left because I wanted to be clear. I wanted to be brave. So let me be clear. I am in love with my best friend. With you. Not some idea of you. You. And I've tried to be careful because your heart is the last thing I ever want to risk. But I can't pretend I'm neutral anymore. You matter to me in a way that shifts my entire life. I measure my days by how long it's been since I've seen you. I measure my courage by how many times I almost tell you what I'm saying right now. And if you want to know how far I'd go for this, well, on my darkest nights, I just go back to 5:05. The first time we ever got here. And it makes me happy every single time. Over and over. And I mean it, there's no length for you I wouldn't go. If it's a 7-hour flight or 45-minute drive, I'd do it without thinking. I'd cross the city, the country. I'll face your reluctance and mine. You are unexpectedly and completely my home. Sometimes I picture you in quieter moments than I should admit. Waiting, lying on your side, the lamplight turning your cheek to gold. I look under the covers to see your hand between your thigh, and I think, that's too much to think. It's too much to even confess. But then I remember I'm talking to you, the one who knows when I'm sad before I do, the one who can tell my real laugh from my polite one. Why should I hide the way my mind wraps around you when it's only ever been honest with you? I want to tell you something else. And I'll choose gentler words than my unruly heart wants to offer. First, I honestly think you could completely undo me without even trying. I think a single look from you can unspool me. But I crumble completely when you cry. You know that? You did once. In the kitchen. By the open window. And the sound of your tears, it took all the strength out of me. I just wanted to hold you together with both hands. And I still want to. And the goodbyes. God, I hate them. It seems like, once again, you've had to greet me with goodbye because our schedules never line up. At doorways and train platforms, and at the end of evenings when things were just starting to glow. I always hover. I always fidget. I'm afraid I'm always just about to go and spoil the surprise. Take my hands off of your eyes too soon. I leave before I say too much, and then go for a walk, talking to the streetlights just to stay sane. And enough of that. Enough of almost. Almost is exhausting. And I think you feel it too. I feel like I can hear your head spinning from here. Of course I know what you're thinking. You're thinking of all the practical things. Friendship, timing, the way the world gawks when two people step over a line and dare to call it love. Look at me. We are capable of this. We've carried each other through worse. Why should we be afraid of joy? You know, I'm gonna say something risky. It won't be as poetic as the images that keep me awake, but it will be true. Sometimes, when we're close, when you tuck my hair behind my ear and my breath stumbles, I think I'd probably still adore you with your hands around my neck. Be it just the slightest, lightest guiding touch. Safe, steady, reverent. Or I did last time I checked. And I know that's a bold thing to say, but I want honesty big enough to hold what we have. I want to speak the whole truth. You make me braver. You always have. When I doubt my work, you remind me I'm the girl who moved here with 2 boxes and a plan and made a whole life out of thin air. When my mother is sharp with me, you pass me a mug and let me go off and have the last word, which always makes me feel better. When I talk about a ridiculous plan, you're the one who asks, what would it take, instead of why bother? I mean, who wouldn't fall for the person who treats her future like something worth betting on? It doesn't help that I know you, too. To your core. The way you guard your soft parts until you're sure they'll be held. The way you stay up late to help, even if nobody's watching. The way your laugh cracks in the middle when you're really, truly happy. If I get to be the person who hears that sound the most, that would be enough for me. Tell me you feel it. Tell me your heart beats louder when I lead in. Tell me you've also rehearsed the ways you might confess and talked yourself out of every single one. We've both been so careful. Maybe too careful. There's a time for care and a time for leaping. So here's me, leaping. Because given the choice, I'm going back to 505 in every sense that matters. Choosing you, choosing this place, choosing us, again and again and again. Whether I'm taking a 7-hour flight or a 45-minute drive, if it's patience, if it's effort, if it's learning you like your mornings quiet and your evenings a tornado full of activity, I'll do it. I'll learn you like a language. I'll speak you fluently. And here's what I promise if you say yes. I will meet you where you are. I will take your hand at your pace. We can keep it soft. Keep it slow. Our friendship isn't a bridge we're setting ablaze for love. It's something we will build. It's the ground that holds us up. We'll build on top of it, both feet planted, our eyes wide open. We'll laugh more, not less. We'll still split dessert and argue about playlists and watch bad movies until the room tilts us with sleep. We'll still be us, just more honestly. I've imagined our first mornings. You at the counter pouring coffee. Me watching you and trying not to grin like a fool. In my imagination, you're waiting, lying on your side too when I'm home late and I open the door to find you there. And maybe, only if you want it, one day I'll brush my thumb at your throat and tease. When you look at me like that, my darling, what did you expect? And you'll shake your head and kiss me anyway. I don't need an answer this second, but I hope you'll give me one before the fear gets loud again. I hope you'll let me try. Because I'm done pretending. I'm done calling this almost. I'm ready for us to be brave. One more thing, before I lose my nerve. This is going to sound like a dare, but it's really a promise. If you open this door with me, if you let me love you out loud, I'll keep coming back to you, to this, to us. I'll keep going back to 505 every time without fail. If it's across the block or across the years, because in the truest version of my mind, you will always be here. Happy and smiling at me like I am everything to you. And in the truest version of my heart, you're smiling because I finally said all of this. So, here's my hand. Here's my hand. No more covering your eyes. No more hovering at the edge. Come with me. Let me love you like we already do, just with fewer excuses. And if by some chance I've rushed you, if I've said too much too fast, then I'll sit right here with you while we breathe. I'll listen. We'll find the pace that feels like us. But I had to say it. I had to, because I've learned that the ache of silence is worse than the risk of love. And I don't want to spend another night in a city full of almosts, waiting for courage that only shows up when you're around. I'm here. I choose you. And I'm not going anywhere. Unless you want coffee on your way to work. And then I'm absolutely on our way to a coffee shop. Because this conversation is best had with warm mugs and the birds singing outside and everything nice. Yeah? Perfect. Shall we?